All right, let's go. The Eagles are in first place of the NFC East, but it's the defense that's doing something historic, as Zack Baun somehow elevated his play even more. However, what are his thoughts about a contract, and why shouldn't Jalen Carter's play be overlooked? Also, Jalen Hurts showed something that will put the Birds' offense on another level. So let's break down what that was, as well as take a look at how Philly's dominating performance is imploding Dallas. Oh yeah, and the Eagles' O-line just got a much-needed bit of ammunition. So let's talk about that and everything else from Week 10. But first, let's run it. What's up, guys? I'm sorry about the voice. It's like this sickness literally won't go away, but the power stash remains because the Eagles are undefeated with it. After taking Dallas out behind the woodshed in just about every phase of the game to move to 7-2, which of course most all of you predicted when I asked how would this one play out for the Cowboys.
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
Bobble snap. That's the call. Elliott, the ball pops out. 3rd and 9. Ball's back. Knocked out of his hands. Back to Ferguson. He coughed it up and lofts it, and he's intercepted.
You know, what amazes me is the fact that some Cowboys fans actually believed that Dallas was going to pull off the upset. Like, for real, not only were they that naive, but several Dallas delusionals were seen crying at the game on Sunday, as they were clearly in a bad way.
Are you okay? Ron.
Here's the best part. No matter how bad I'm feeling, I can guarantee you Jerry Jones is sicker.
Philadelphia's a high-caliber team, and we're not up to them.
That could be the first bit of truth that Jerry spewed in about a month. Although let's remember, Dallas head coach Mike McCarthy shared optimism before the game about being able to limit Philly's offense, in particular due to the familiarity of Kellen Moore's offense. And yeah, don't worry, we'll get to that. However, the problem with that, Mike, is that maybe a little self-reflection about who you really are would be appropriate.
Hey, are you Dirty Mike and the boys?
Honestly, sometimes these things just write themselves. Like, for example, whenever Trey Lance shared with everyone on national television what was happening to Dallas' season in real time.
How you know who we are?
To be fair, they did say all in, I just kind of thought it had a different meaning. But you're right, no one wants to see any of that. I mean, Jerry certainly didn't. With the Jerry cam constantly showing the embarrassing disgust from the product on the field. Although he might have been more disgusted by seeing the Philly faithful just pouring in to show support in Arlington, as they got to witness the first win at AT&T Stadium since 2017. Thanks to an impressive ground game and a dominant defensive shutout in the second half. By the way, the ironic part to that is that the last time the Eagles shut out a team in the second half and scored at least 20 points was in 2017 against, yes, again, Dallas, where the Birds went into halftime down 9-7, only to come out and win the second half by 30 points. Look, I'm just saying, another week and another week of progression, especially from the defense. Granted, yeah, it's a little crazy just how bad Dallas has been at home this season. In fact, Philly's handed Jerry's Clowns their 4th straight loss at home in the same season, which hasn't happened since 2015. Yet to make matters worse, Dirty Mike's boys' negative 94-point differential is the 13th worst by any team in any season since 2000.
You know what that's called when they do that? It's called a soup kitchen. It's pretty rough stuff.
Guys, I kind of feel bad for guys like Zach Martin and guys who might be on their last year on their way out, because that's who I wanted to hold the trophy for. You want to win games and do great things with those type of legends who put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did. So those are the kind of guys that I have so much sympathy and hurt for.
For those counting, that is 12,650 regular season games, and they are the 13th worst. But get this, out of all those games played since 2000, Vic Fangio's unit allowed one of the lowest passing yards totals ever with 49 passing yards between Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. You heard me right, 49 yards total in a league where offense reigns supreme. I mean, what the Eagles are doing defensively right now is absolutely unprecedented. Think about this. Over their last 5 games, the Philly defense has allowed 10 points per game, 201 yards per game, and only 4 touchdowns. Again, you can make the argument about schedule and injuries, but there's no denying Fangio's impact. A shout out to Brendan Deeg, but last season the Eagles were 30th in points per game, 29th in EPA per play, and 27th in success rate. Whereas now, through 10 weeks, they're 5th in points per game, 6th in EPA per play, and 1st in success rate. Yet even with all that, Nakobe Dean's confident it'll continue and really only get better.
But everybody taking ownership of the defense. We holding ourselves to a standard. We have set a standard to our play and the way we play, the way we take the ball away, the way we tackle, the way we execute, the way we make plays. We have set a standard, and we trying to play that standard every chance we get.
Reminder for you, this is the youngest defense in the NFL. So again, every week that I say this team is building, this defense is building, it's only going to get better. I mean, the growth and improvement has been unbelievable at how quickly they're picking it up. Now, I don't know if I'd say they're saving the offense, but they've definitely had their moments in picking them up. As on the opening possession for Dallas, they forced a quick punt to give the ball to Jalen Hurts. However, despite moving the football a bit, QB1 was sacked twice, which ultimately led to the drive getting stalled and forcing a punt. And sure, it goes without saying those sacks were bad. Yet upon further review, sure, the first sack is questionable and Hurts probably could have done better. But the second sack on 2nd and 20 is just an atrocious block attempt from Kenny Gainwell. So I definitely don't blame Hurts there. Also, FYI, Lane Johnson said after the game that Dallas was doing some different stuff, especially in the first half, that caused some confusion up front. So alright, I guess give a little credit to Dallas. Anyway, after the punt, Cooper Rush fumbled the ball away to Milton Williams, setting up the Philly offense at the 17-yard line, where a few plays later, Jalen Hurts scored to take the lead and become the first touchdown scorer of the game. Meaning congrats to Last Man 1753 for winning the drawing out of all the people who correctly picked that as the first touchdown score. So now that you won, all that I need you to do, man, is email me at thephillyspecialshow@gmail.com along with a pic of your profile and info so I can confirm it's you and ship out your jersey to you. Reminder, if you want to get in on the next giveaway, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Alright, but while Jalen scored that TD, thankfully he wasn't the last man for Philly to get into the end zone. Although things did get a little dicey at this point, as Dallas took advantage of some leaky run defense from the Birds before Quinyon Mitchell clamped down on Jalen Brooks to bring up a field goal, which ended up making the score 7-3. However, Jalen and the offense looked a whole lot more promising on their next possession, getting all the way down to the Dallas 12 before the first quarter ended. But just like the myth of Icarus, the Birds flew too close to the sun, or maybe more appropriately, they were directed the wrong way toward the sun and were picked off. Look, we can sit here and argue whether or not Jalen Hurts should have made that throw or not, whether it was a good pick, whatever, but the sunbeams definitely played a bigger role on the field. Now, I get it if you want to say I'm biased, yet even CeeDee Lamb, who had an opportunity to put the Cowboys up later in the first half, even said the sun played a huge factor. And oh yeah, called out Jerry Jones for building the stadium in that direction.
Couldn't see the ball. Couldn't see the ball at all. The sun. But yes, 1,000%.
You talked to Barry about that.
I mean, y'all doing my job right now.
So we do know where the damn sun's going to be in our own stadium.
Why not put the curtains up? Why not mitigate that?
What?
The sun and CeeDee's
Let's
eyes.
just tear the damn stadium down and build another one. You kidding me?
But it's not. You don't have to go that way.
Everybody's got the same thing. Every team that comes in here has the same issues. They know where the sun's going to be. So every team has the same thing.
So is it more on Mike not understanding where the sun is and not calling those places?
I'm saying the world knows where the sun is. You get to know that almost a year in advance. So someone asked me about the sun, and what about the sun? Where's the moon?
For the sun?
Any comment?
Not today. I just couldn't help myself.
It's amazing how stubborn Jerry Jones can be. I mean, AT&T Stadium literally has curtains that they can shut during concerts. Yet out of pride, he's choosing the brand and image, I guess, over what his players actually want. Whatever, it's just one more reason why the Cowboys will always remain bad with Mr. Jones.
Pass me a bottle, Mr. Jones. Help me believe in anything.
Philadelphia's a high caliber team, and we're not up to them.
It's really just too good, which is exactly what the Philly defense is, as they build the offense out there, forcing a punt. And then after 2 more sacks on Jalen the ensuing possession, Dallas put together their best offensive series of the game, going 13 plays for 77 yards with nothing to show for it.
It's a handoff here. Zeke up the middle. He loses the football. Fumble. Cooper Dejean's on it. Eagles have the ball. Wait, there's a flag.
Okay,
Please be offensive holding something.
They think it's on Dallas. Philly thinks it's on Dallas.
Come on.
On Dallas.
It's a hold on Dallas. Turnover, baby. We got it right back.
How about
Eagles
that?
throw a pick. Zeke Elliott, you are washed. You are done. Thank you for trying that. And guess who?
Zack Baun,
Zack Baun with a forced fumble.
I'm running out of good things to say about Zack Baun, like it's every week with this dude. Seriously, he's now graded out as the best linebacker in the NFL the last 3 weeks. And it's no wonder why many pundits are saying he's the best linebacker in the entire league, not named Fred Warner. Yet while that may be a surprise to some, it isn't to the beast.
No, I don't think so. I think through my time in New Orleans, of course, people say I was an on-ball linebacker, but when I was in New Orleans, I was putting in the time, putting in just the same amount of work as the starters were, just to prepare for a moment like this and my opportunity, and all I had to do was take advantage and just let it fly.
Okay, I know there's a tendency to want to get carried away with this stuff, but what Zack Baun is doing is literally like Jeremiah Trotter-esque level. as he had another 8 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 recovered fumble, and 2 tackles for loss Sunday, giving him 87 tackles on the season along with 2 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, an interception, and a fumble recovery. And through 10 weeks, the 27-year-old is now on pace for 164 tackles and 6 forced fumbles this season. So here we are 1 week later and really only wanting Howie to do one thing: extend the dude who is playing at a Pro Bowl level, heck, maybe even an all-pro level right now. However, as much sense as that may make, when it comes to his next contract, it's not on Baun's mind.
No, it's one game at a time. Like, I'm just trying to get better. The linebacker room's trying to get better. This defense is trying to get better, and I'm glad it's showing up.
That's honestly fair, and I can appreciate the focus, which was certainly important after Hurts was sacked and fumbled the football to give the ball back to Dallas. Yet just like before, the defense bailed out the offense to hold Dallas to a field goal, making the score 7-6.
I made a mistake, and it hurt the team, but I was thankful for they had my back, and more so the defense and how they responded and how they played and just the conversations we have. And I think that's something that starts in the middle of the week, not even on Sundays, but we know that it takes all of us. And then obviously everyone, offensively just knowing we're just going to keep pressing and keep moving forward, keep staying with it, keep throwing punches. And that's exactly how we handled it.
Look, that was a big turning point because honestly, the Birds could have allowed a touchdown at that point, which would make it 10-7. Instead, CeeDee Lamb's not able to make the catch. Obviously, the sun playing a factor, but 7-6, and then, we know what happened next. But like I said, the sun affected Philly and it hurt the home team. Yet what really hurts is Hurts. As kudos to QB1 because he made some terrific decisions in the 2-minute offense to march the ball down the field. And then on a second down from the 14, Jalen avoided pressure, kept his balance, and found Dallas Goedert for a strike to go up 14-6 at halftime. The other part to mention and account for that kind of gets lost in that is that Jalen Hurts did all of that without Saquon Barkley on that drive. Remember, 26 injured his wrist trying to dive for the football, but the good news is he should be fine. Getting back to Jalen, though, as much as people may want to knock Jalen for some poor plays at times, then you better give him his credit whenever he does make those stellar plays. Because Mr. Breed of 1 is 34-11 in his last 45 starts, which is the second best record in the entire NFL during that stretch, along with having the most 20-plus yard touchdowns in the NFL. And over the last 5 games, he's amassed 1,259 total yards, 16 touchdowns, a 72% completion percentage, 125 passer rating, and a 5-0 record. Amazingly, this dude is still getting killed for a performance that was good and was much better in the second half, as Cooper Dejean set up the Birds nicely on a fantastic punt return, followed by a focus on leaning on the ground game. I mean, yeah, when you got guys like Philly does, it's kind of a no-brainer. But that bully ball paid dividends the longer the game went on. Just take a look at how Lane Johnson made quick work of Micah Parsons to allow Jalen to hit Johnny Wilson for a 5-yard score to go up 21-6. And shout out to the Rook, as Groot definitely earned that one to work his way back to the football and use his frame to box out in the red zone. I mean, I love to see it. You love to see it. We talked about Johnny Wilson all leading up to the draft, post-draft. He's got the frame, so finally seeing a little bit of something in the red zone. More importantly, though, you're getting guys more confidence as the season goes on, and you're starting to see the offense do a little bit of different things that we hadn't seen early in the season. Like, who doesn't love seeing a Jalen Hurts 7-step and hitch from under center for 44 yards to A.J. Brown? And then let's not forget Bullet Ben Van Sumeren came into the game to make sure Dallas defense got all the punishment. By the way, credit to Anthony DeBona for that nickname, but how is that not perfect watching 57 play? Anyway, Philly marched down to the 8 before Jalen kept the rock on a QB counter bash for 6. As that led to Johnny Page sharing, Jalen had a 0.77 EPA per play running the football versus Dallas. And just in case you're curious and not sure, that's insane. But it really tells the story for how good QB1 was reading the defense, and realizing that Mike Zimmer very clearly committed to not letting Saquon beat their defense, which kind of worked for the most part, as Barkley ended the game with just 66 yards on 14 carries. Yet again, the most promising aspect of this is seeing that Jalen Hurts is reading the defense, especially in the running game, a lot more efficiently than he was early in the season. So if he keeps being decisive and aggressive within the flow of the game, this offense will continue to be multi-dimensional and nearly impossible to stop. Anyway, getting back to the game, that score made it 28-6, and it was basically already over at that point. But Agent Zero made sure it was by coming up with Philly's first sack of the game. And guess who recovered the football? Yep, Zack Baun. Of course, yes, let's give Huff tons of credit because the dude showed up, despite only playing 12 snaps all game. I should point out that it's looking like Fangio's decided to use the 26-year-old as a pass rush specialist now. I understand the thinking of maybe it was due to a blowout, but even if you look at the edge rusher snaps in the first half, Huff only had 6. Heck, Jalyx Hunt had 13 ahead of Nolan Smith as well. Granted, Jalyx didn't do too much in his debut, but he did create a perfect opportunity for Nakobe Dean to come up with an INT that unfortunately he dropped. Ultimately, your $17 million edge rusher not playing a whole lot of snaps is, a little bit concerning, but I appreciate the fact that Fangio just says, look, whoever's the best is going to play. If you're getting paid whatever, I don't care. If you're not producing and I don't think you can play, you won't be on the field. But one guy whose play has been phenomenal but hasn't been talked about enough is Jalen Carter.
If he's going to make you look bad, like this move right here, like it's just violent. He gets to Cooper Rush. You watch him in the middle now, and his ability, like right here, like he doesn't want to just bat the ball. He wants to kill the ball. Like it's just a spike to hell. Then you get like this right now. Like these late moves. All right, double team. Now watch him split it. Splits the double team right there and gets in on the car crash. And then this, like, he's an equal opportunity. Watch what he does to Cooper Beebe. Bam. See, when you're from Apopka, Florida, Sap told me this. When you're from Apopka, you show up and you show out. And he gets to Trey Lance. He wants Trey Lance to feel his punch. Jalen Carter is just different. 3 certainties in life after 10 weeks of the season. Death, taxes, and Quinyon Mitchell does not get beat. Watch his feet. He's got amazing feet. Watch. He doesn't guess. He stays right in front of Brooks. And then when Brooks takes off, he squeezes him to the sideline and he finds the ball and he gets him out of bounds. Like, he doesn't get beat. And then you watch this right here. All right, it's 3rd and 10. All right, early in the game right now. Now, here comes Tolbert up in the middle. All right, it's at 3rd and 10. Watch where he makes the tackle at 9 yards. You know what the Cowboys are screaming on the sideline? Punt team. And then you get on a 3rd and 5 right here. All right, here's CeeDee Lamb. They're running a play for him. They're going to run all these rubs and picks in the middle of the field. And even when he does have to bubble right here, like, the guy's a great tackler. Down goes Lamb. But then, like, it's one good play after another. You watch this right here. And here it is again. Brooks against Quinyon Mitchell. Puts that left foot in the ground. Swat! Bang! Gets the ball out. I mean, it's death, taxes, and Quinyon Mitchell doesn't get beat.
Like we've been saying, you're starting to see this defense come into its own, as a couple of field goals from Jake Elliott and another fumble recovery and a pick by C.J. Gardner-Johnson led to a 34-6 final score. Meaning thanks to the Washington Commanders losing late to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Eagles are now leading the NFC East by half a game. Now, let me just say this real quick, because I saw a few, not a lot, but a few comments saying the Birds only got 3 sacks, we should have had a whole lot more. But again, you held Dallas to 49 total passing yards, and they did still eventually get those 3 sacks. It's just that Dirty Mike elected to play small ball and get rid of the rock quickly. Although, yeah, there's certainly areas to improve. And the scary part is Saquon believes they haven't even scratched the surface.
We hold ourselves to a high standard here because we know the talent that we have. And, it's funny, I'd rather be a part of that than not. We just beat Dallas by 25, 28 points. I don't know how many points we beat them by in Dallas. And, we're still sitting here saying we didn't do enough. That's a mindset we got to continue to have. And we know it's going to continue to grow with everyone in his locker room. The team mindset, do it with each other, and my favorite quote that Coach Sirianni always said, you can't be great without the greatness of others, and we have a lot of great people here, and we got to keep leaning on each other and trusting each other.
What's that look like if you guys haven't scratched the surface yet?
It's probably scary. I don't know. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is winning football games, and we're on a pretty good streak right now, and 2-0 in the division, and we got to look forward to trying to go 3-0 against I know they lost this week, but a hot Washington team.
That game against Washington's going to be lit, and I can't wait. And to be able to give your guys a rest for a full quarter on a short week with the commies coming to town is huge. Speaking of huge, the Eagles' O-line might have gotten even better news after Philly announced they've opened Jordan Mailata's practice window. Yet even as I say that, let me just caution, because technically he could play by Thursday, but based on timing, that'd mean he wouldn't get any practice. Now, obviously, it's a good sign that the Eagles posted his injury designation as a full practice on Monday, but again, that was an estimation since they technically didn't practice. So something to definitely keep an eye on. Because Fred Johnson's done a solid job, but no offense to him, Mailata coming in gives you automatically a top 2 or 3 tackles at both positions now. Either way though, let's just say the vibes of this squad are back. Okay, even with the positive news, I think we all realize to not crown them just yet, because the schedule is definitely getting more difficult. And on the topic of schedule, shout out to all you guys who hang out on the game streams, but just a reminder, we won't be streaming the game this week since we'll obviously be at the link, tailgating, and watching the game. But y'all let me know, what were your biggest takeaways from the game on Sunday? The good, the bad, the ugly, everything. Also, make sure to hit the like button. Heck, give yourself a like at this point for the voice and the way that it is here. And also, let me know what you're looking forward to in the Commies game coming up. Till next time, this has been the Philly Special.